Hello, my dear warriors. Welcome to the final lap of your preparation for your JEE mains. Welcome all the 2023 warriors, be it freshers, the 12th standard students, or the droppers who are repeating. So, welcome aboard. It's time to begin the Sureshot series and the most awaited session. And like every year, I'm pretty sure you have asked your seniors, or probably some of you already know it. And in case you don't, let me tell you, Sureshot series is a must-do series for each and every JEE aspirant, because so many patterns, models of questions, the difficulty level, the concepts, the topics that are done over here are very likely to be asked in your upcoming exams. This is Shreyas here, your physics master teacher, teaching for a very long time. And make sure you smash the like button and also hit the subscribe button before we begin the class. I hope you guys are all geared up and ready to start the session with me. Alright, draw and draw exam 31st. I can see so many of you who were attending my Pathfinder or even Nurture series are right now over here. I did not know, or I had not thought about all these things where I would be seeing you finally just few days before the exam. So while we are teaching, we just keep on teaching, and so soon the day has arrived. So many of my kids whom I have been associated with for more than 1 year or few months or maybe 2 years are finally coming closer to that day. So my dear students, please do not be nervous, okay? So you have studied really well all these years. You have studied and put in your heart and soul. So whatever you have done in these few years or months, that is what is going to work in the final exam. And yes, this last minute revision series is very important to boost up your morale and to make you realize the few things which you might have forgotten, or the things that you need to really focus on, so that you guarantee get certain amount of marks. And also let me remind you to watch this particular session in the videos tab. Just go ahead and watch this high weightage JEE physics topics to get at least 3/4 of the score within just few topics. So must watch session for all the JEE aspirants. It's a very short video, 7 minutes video, which will give you Sureshot topics of JEE mains. So let's begin, my dear students. Good evening. Let's begin then. Okay, here comes the first question. Make sure you answer each and every question in the chat box. Do not leave the session in between, and even if you feel that, oh, this is something which I don't know, don't worry. You have time till Sunday or Monday to brush up and revise these topics, and you have my lectures on the channel for free of cost, which you can use. Okay, so let's begin the class. A black body at certain temperature radiates heat at 20 units. When the temperature goes to 727 degrees Celsius, how much heat will be radiated? This is a question on radiation. Now we all know radiation of heat is completely dependent on the temperature. What's the formula? If you recollect, the rate at which the rate of heat radiated is basically directly proportional to the temperature's power raised to 4. This was your Stephen's law. E sigma A T raised to 4, Stephen-Boltzmann constant, sigma 5.67 10 to the power minus 8. So that is the formula which is needed over here. So the rate 1 by rate 2 will be nothing but T1 by T2 whole raised to 4. Now the catch over here is the temperature should be in Kelvin, so be careful about that. The first times rate is 20, the second times rate I do not know. The first times temperature is 227, so add 273 to it. So when you add 273 to it, so plus 273, then you will get it as 500 Kelvin. Same thing, 727 plus 273 is going to make it 1000 Kelvin. So this is going to be 500 by 1000 whole raised to 4. That means R2 will be, okay, just shift R2 over there. So that will be 20 into, because this is just going to be 1 by 2 raised to 4, which is going to be just 1 by 16. So 20 into basically 16, which is 320 units. So R2 is going to be 320. Yes, C for cap 2 it is. C for cap 2 it is. Let's check it out. Yes, it is. Very good, Sanjit. Very good. No, it is not A, bacha. CH Jain, this class will be for more than 1 hour. Yep. Do we get this question? Achyuta Sri, I would consider yourself to be very lucky if you get exactly the same question, but there is a good chance that you will get a similar kind of question. Stephen Boltzmann constant based questions are very common. So I'm going to write the concept over here. So expect a question on this formula, this formula, the rate of heat, which is basically dq by dt. dq by dt is E sigma A, temperature of the body raised to 4 minus temperature of surrounding raised to 4. And also they generally ask questions on your Wien's displacement law, which is nothing but the wavelength into temperature is nothing but a constant. So these two formulas are very common. Let's proceed to the next concept and question. Okay, here it is. Astronauts, they look on the Earth surface from the space, and the altitude is 400 kilometers. If they can resolve objects on the Earth of the size, they can resolve objects of the Earth of the size, how much? If it is assumed that the diameter of the pupil is 5 millimeters and the wavelength of light is 500 nanometer. Bhavani, tomorrow you're going to have a complete formula revision session. Don't worry about it. Let me remind you guys, the resolving limit in angle, the resolving limit in angle for an aperture, is given by the formula 1.22 lambda by the aperture size, which is A, or basically the diameter you can call it. Okay, so this is the formula. This is the angle which is associated. Now, if you think about the diagram, or you just try to visualize the problem, this is the surface of the Earth, this is the pupil or the eye, or the astronaut is over here. So my dear students, there is some distance between the eye and the surface of the Earth. There is some distance between the eye and the surface of the Earth. So imagine this is the minimum angle, this minimum angle which is needed to resolve the two objects. So my dear students, if I ask you what is this distance, you can quickly think about it. If this is theta, and if I know this particular distance to be capital D, if I know this particular distance to be capital D, this small d will be capital D into small theta, capital D into small theta. Just think about it. Everybody with me? How did I get? This is basically length of the arc. This is length of the arc. This is nothing but your radius. This is nothing but your radius. And this is nothing but your angle. Don't you see this is center, this is arc, this is radius. That's it. Length of the arc is the radius times theta. Everybody with me? So hence, my dear students, small d will be capital D into theta. That angle is nothing but 1.22 lambda by small d. Just substitute everything. This distance is given to be 400 kilometers. So 400 into 10 to the power 3 into 1.22 into the wavelength. What is the wavelength? It is 500 nano, means 10 to the power minus 9. Whole thing divided by small d, or sorry, small a, you can put it. It's up to you. Okay, small a over here. So that small a over here is basically the aperture size. Where is that aperture size? You can see somewhere it will be given. Yes, the aperture size is 5 millimeters. This is basically your aperture size. So it will be 5 into 10 to the power minus 3, my dear students. So look over here, 1.22 into 4. Forget the zeros. Just multiply the pure numbers. 1.22 into 4, guys, that's going to be nothing but 4.88. That is one thing. This 5 and this 5 will cancel. Now check the zeros. So this will become 10 to the power 5. These two zeros and this 3 zeros over here. This will become 10 to the power minus 7. This will become just 10 to the power minus 3. Now if you do the math, this 10 to the power minus 3 will partially cancel. It will become 10 to the power minus 4 into 10 to the power 5 will make it 10. So 4.88 into 10, which is going to make it 48.8 meters. So approximately the answer should be again C for Captain Shreyas. Let's check it out. Yes, it is. There you go. Okay, I hope this is clear, my dear students. Everyone with me? Okay, so Nagaraju, please check my AC chapter. You will find quality factor and all of those things which I have done Okay, so let's not deviate. Okay, everyone with me? Awesome, awesome. So entertainment boss, tomorrow I will be posting a video on all the formulas which are important from JEE mains. So please watch it. It's going to be live probably around in the afternoon. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So the previous question was completely based on diffraction, resolution of objects through an aperture or through slits. So this is a part of, you can say, ray optics, also a part of wave optics. So in general, optics is something what you should know. There are two wires of the same length. Diameter of the second wire is double of the first. On applying the same load on both the wires, the extension produced in them will be in the ratio of. Let's try to understand the question. If you have a wire of certain length L, then it might get extended because you have applied a force. Let's say the extension is small l, the area of cross section is A. Then the formula that I should be using from solid mechanics or elasticity chapter is Young's modulus is nothing but your stress divided by your strain. Stress divided by the strain. Stress is force divided by area. Strain is change in length upon original length. Okay, let's rearrange these terms. So let's see what do we get. F is equal to, bring this A over here. So Y into A. Then this small l will also go on the top and this capital L will come below. But I don't want area because diameter is given. So area is nothing but pi into d square by 4 or just pi radius square. So might as well write this as force is equal to Y into pi diameter square into small length, whole thing divided by 4L. Is that making sense, everyone? Now see what and all terms are constants. The two wires are of the same length. That means L is same, capital L. This length is same. And they are basically applied the same load. That means force is same. And they are wires of the same material. So that means Young's modulus is also same. Pi and 4 are constants. Pi is a constant, 4 is also constant. That means d square into L is constant. That means d square into L is nothing but a constant. Correct? Everybody gets this? Hence, can I not say length is inversely proportional to d square? Hence, can't I say length 1 or extension 1 by extension 2 will be d2 by d1's whole square? So what is d2 and d1? The diameter of second is double of the first. So d2 is double of the first. So hence, my dear students, this should be 4:1 or 4 by 1. So that is extensions ratio. Extensions ratio is 4:1. That is option D. How many of you have got it? Excelente. Very good, Guhan. Very good, Sunita. Very good, Panpatho. Very good, Tejaswini. Sikita. Excelente, guys. Perfecto. How is it 4L? Guys, area is pi r square, correct? Area, what is area? Area is pi r square, which you can also write it as pi diameter square by 4, because the radius is diameter by 2. So when you square it, it will become d square by 4. So that 2 square has become 4. That same 4 has come here. Length has not become 4 times. It's just the diameter. When you write it, radius in terms of diameter, that 4 will come. I hope this is clear. Pranav, I think I have already mentioned I'll be doing a formula session tomorrow. Okay, so just watch it. All right. So tomorrow afternoon. Okay, clear? Yes, Itachi Uchina, you will be getting the PDF later on. But for now, you should concentrate. See, PDF, there are so many PDFs on the internet. Have you checked all the PDFs? No, right? So that's why the sessions are conducted. Teachers are coming on YouTube. Else I could have just sent the PDF and like, okay, done. There's no point. Yeah, but for reference, you will be getting the PDF. Okay, look at this equation. This is a question on simple harmonic motion. Expect questions from SHM, 100% guarantee, guys. Y is equal to 2 centimeters sine pi t by 2 plus phi. Question is, what is the maximum acceleration of the particle? Now, whenever we have y is equal to a sine omega t plus phi kind of equation, when you differentiate it twice, then you get the acceleration equation, which is a omega square with the minus sign, and then you have sine omega t plus phi. This is your standard equation for acceleration. And if you notice over here clearly, this quantity is basically the maximum acceleration that is possible, because the maximum value or least value of sine is plus or minus 1. So this will decide what's the maximum value of acceleration, because this 1 into any number is that number. So the maximum acceleration is a omega square. Just compare and I think you will get it. So the maximum acceleration is nothing but 2 into that is a into omega square. Omega over there is pi by 2. So this will be pi by 2's square. So this will be 2 into pi square by 4. So this will be pi square by 2, and the answer will be in centimeters per second square, which is option B. B for IIT Bombay, guys. Excellent day. Guys, what would you do if the question said maximum speed? If, I know it is not asked, but I'm just saying, if the question was for maximum speed, then what will you do? What is the formula? Come on, put it up in the chat box. Come on, guys. Yes, it's going to be amplitude times omega. That's all. So a into omega. So in that case, the answer would be 2 into pi by 2. That means it will be just pi centimeters per second. Exactly, a omega. Okay. So for now, the acceleration was asked. So hence it is option B, of course. Wow, what a kind of a question we have. Look at this. Capacitor, resistor, battery, resistor. Currents are flowing in it. Question is, what is the current I in the circuit in a steady state, normal state? Semiconductor, minimum 4 marks. Please watch my semiconductors fast track session. I have mentioned at the start of the session only how many marks you will get. So in fact, even in the high weightage also I have mentioned. So minimum 4 marks, but most likely 8 marks. Okay. Let's try to solve this question. How do we do this? First of all, capacitor always blocks the current. So first of all, ignore the capacitor. Ignore the capacitor because it blocks the current in the steady state. So where will the actual current flow is the question. The current will only go here, 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 here. That's it. It will not go only in this branch in steady state, huh? Not while charging or discharging. I'm talking about steady states over here. So only look at the outer circuit. Only look at the outer circuit, my dear students. And in this circuit, 8 volt is giving voltage clockwise, 16 volt is giving voltage that way, anti-clockwise. So if I ask you what is the net current in that particular branch, what is that net current in that particular branch, it will be the net voltage by the net resistance. The total voltage 16 plus 8 or 16 minus 8? 16 plus 8 or minus 8? Umesh, concentrate, bacha. Right now is not the time for doing topic wise sessions. You have to do mock test. That is a wrong strategy if you are doing topic wise things right now, just few days before the exam. Okay. Yes, you can give full syllabus NT Abhyas mock test. Yes, it is going to be 16 minus 8 because they are both opposites. 16 is giving voltage this way, 8 is giving voltage that way. So hence it will be 16 minus 8 divided by resistance. 3, resistance does not have direction. So 3 and 9, that's it. So 3 plus 9, do not consider anything over here because it's completely blocking it. So it will be 8 divided by 12, which is nothing but 2 divided by 3, which is nothing but, yes, roughly I can say because it is recurring decimal. So it is 0.67 amperes. 0.67 amperes. Exactly. Very nice, my dear students, if you have answered it as B. Many of you have answered it as B. Very good, Mohammed. Very good, Panpato. Very nice. Amazing go, Aisha. Very good, Targna, Tejaswini. So many of you. Excellent, Mega, Shanmuka, Swapna. I have not calculated total questions. Don't worry about it. This is a sure shot session where, I have taken about more than 20 questions, I think, which are very important high weightage types. Let's move on to the next one coming up on your screen. This is also a brilliant question, okay? There are two waves, wavelengths are given, wave speed is given, and they are interfering. How many beats are produced by those two waves? Beats is a phenomena where two waves of similar wavelengths or similar frequency, when they interfere, they have maximum minimum sound alternating, and the rate at which this happens is called as the beat frequency. And if you recollect beat frequency formula is F1 minus F2, bigger number minus smaller number, that's all. But I don't know the frequency, so find the frequency. How do I find the frequency? We know F lambda is equal to speed, hence I can just say frequency is V by lambda, hence I can just say over here, it will be V by lambda 1 minus V by lambda 2. So taking V common, it will be nothing but lambda 2 minus lambda 1 divided by lambda 1 into lambda 2. Okay, if you want, you can write it in the LCM form or just keep it like this only, no issues. You can just write it as 1 by lambda 1, 1 by lambda 1, 1 by lambda 1 minus 1 by lambda 2. Okay, that's what it is. So let's try to substitute the values. So 1, velocity is 396, wavelength 1, I will just put it as 99 centimeters. So because it is centimeters, I need to convert it into meters. Why am I putting this? Because this is centimeters. So when you convert it into meters, multiply by 10 to the power minus 2 in the denominator. Okay, so this is one thing, and this will be another thing over here. So my dear students, this will be 396 taking LCM. Okay, you can just write it as 99 into 100, and this will be 100 minus 99 into 10 to the power minus 2. So what are we going to get? 100 and 10 to the power minus 2 just cancels. 99 goes with 396 4 times. So what do we have eventually? We just have 4 into 100 minus 99 is 1. Everything else is 1. So hence I'm just getting 4 beats per second. 4 beats per second. Am I getting it? So yes, option C. Many times you might not be given frequency, you might be given wavelength. So in those cases, this is how you're going to solve the question. If frequency is given, it is easy. But usually in frequency, what they do, they will load the what do you say, tuning fork with some. They will load the tuning fork with some wax. So what happens when you have a tuning fork of frequency F and you load it with certain amount of wax? When you load it with certain amount of wax, what happens? The frequency will increase or decrease. The frequency of the tuning fork will increase or decrease. So whenever there is some wax, the inertia increases, it becomes heavy, it will become slow. So frequency will go down. So frequency will go down. That's something which you need to take into account. So those kind of questions might be there in the examination. Everyone with me? Hello Adibir and Franklin, welcome Bachalog. And if you have studied only 25 high weightage chapters, what should I do now? Umesh, it's a very good thing. If you have studied 25 high weightage chapters, you can easily get 95 percentile above. I'm telling you, 95 percentile easily you can get. Okay, so moving on to the next question on your screen. There is a system of units which is proposed where mass is alpha kg, unit of length is beta meter, and time is basically gamma second. What is the value of 5 joules in this new system? Okay, so usually when we talk about work, because joules is work, so my dear students, the dimensional formula is mass raised to 1, because it is kg meter square per second square, so length square, and here I have t raised to minus 2. This is the usual dimensions of your work, correct? This is the usual dimensions of your work. Now, if I ask you how much is one new unit of work, that new unit of work in that new system, okay? This new system, what will that one unit of work will be? It will be nothing but alpha kg, because it is raised to 1, so I'm just going to raise this to 1, and then length is beta meter, so beta meter, okay, whole square, and time is raised to minus 2, so that will be gamma seconds raised to minus 2. So this is going to be alpha into beta square divided by gamma raised to 2, or you can just leave it on the top. It's completely up to you, my dear students. You can just leave it as gamma raised to minus 2 and into kg meter square per second square. What is kg meter square per second square, my dear students? It's the unit of joule. So this is basically joules. So what did I get? One new unit of work is basically alpha beta square gamma raised to minus 2 joules. Hence 1 joule will be, bring all these people over here, so it will be nothing but alpha raised to minus 1, beta raised to minus 2, gamma raised to 2 new unit, that new unit of basically work. So that will be nothing but the new unit of work. So that is 1 joule. So my dear students, how much will be 5 joules be? How much will be 5 joules be? It will be 5 times of that. So it will be 5 times alpha raised to 1, beta raised to minus 2 into gamma raised to minus 2 new unit of work. So let's see, where is it? 5 times alpha raised to minus 1, beta raised to minus 2, and oh sorry, yeah, this is gamma raised to plus 2. This is gamma raised to plus 2. So where is it? Option B, I think. Yes, option B. There you go. Option B. Exactly, my dear students. So just have to shift these people over here. 1 unit of work was this many joules. So 1 joule will be, shift this there, that much new units. That is 1 joule. So 5 joules will be into 5. So that's how I get the answer. Okay. I doubt, Nikhilan, difficulty level will increase. How many of you are expecting the problems will be very difficult in the JEE mains? I'm talking about physics. How many of you are expecting the problems to be very difficult? How many of you? Just raise your hands. Or just put a red heart. That way I'll know. How many of you are expecting it to be easy, then put a green heart? How many of you are expecting it to be moderate, then put a blue heart? Or basically however it has been in the last 2 years. Okay, 2020, 2021, 2022. How many of you are expecting it to be as, easy or difficult or moderate as the previous years? So accordingly, let's see how the color of the chat box is looking. If you are saying that it might be easier, then put green heart. If you are saying that it will be as the previous years, then put a blue heart. If you think it is going to be difficult, then put a red heart. Okay, so I can see it's a mix. Guys, Trusti, why are you putting yellow, man? Yellow is not a color out here which I want. Okay, so some of you are saying blue and red both. I don't know. It might be easy, it might be difficult, it might be moderate. Okay, so I have a feeling it will be very much similar to the last 2 years. Generally, NTA is not known to break the trends, number 1. Number 2, when you have 12 shifts, it's very difficult to make difficult questions for all the shifts. Number 2. Number 3, I have seen this over the past, you can say more than 12 years, okay, that when you make very difficult paper, then the cutoff will go down significantly. Already the cutoffs for JEE mains for general categories are close to somewhere between 90 to 100 marks out of 300. Anything becomes difficult, that will screw up the cutoffs completely. I mean, it will be very bad, as an image for having cutoffs in the ranges of 70 to 80. So I don't think so. But you should always be prepared for a difficult exam, nevertheless, because who knows, they might just put very difficult physics paper and very easy maths and chemistry. The chances for that are less, but may happen. Very, very small chances there for that. But if they do that, then they'll have to do it for all the papers, because then it will not be fair for the first shift and second day and third day. So generally they follow a trend. The trend has been maths is usually the most difficult. Chemistry is directly from NCERT, most of it. Physics is moderate level. So that's what my expectations are. So let's go to the next question on your screen. Which of the following has zero average value in a plane electromagnetic wave? Very important chapter again. Rakesh, 40 marks easily, bacha, from the whatever topics I'm teaching right over here. Exactly, if you do those topics, I think easily 30-40 marks easily, I would say. Okay. Problems and polarides, yes, there is a chance, but a small chance. It depends on the shift. Some shifts it might come, some shifts it might not come. Option A, both magnetic and electric field. Sure. Let's see. Yes, all the warriors are perfectly correct. Both magnetic and electric field, because on an average, how much ever positive values are there, that much negative values are there, both for electric and magnetic fields. Energy is not zero. Energy is always positive. It's not like positive, negative. Energy is always going to flow in one direction. So energy is not the answer. Next question. In the diffraction pattern, due to a single width, the first minimum is observed at certain angle. Then when a light of this much wavelength is incident on the slit, where is the secondary maximum? Where is the first secondary maximum observed? At what angle will you exactly see it? So if you look at the screen, okay, if you look at the screen, let's say for example, this is the slit, this is the slit, and there is some, or maybe I can just put directly in front of it, that would be better. This is directly a point in front of it. So there will be a bright region over here. There will be a bright region over here, and again there will be a dark region. I'll just put it at a proper angle, maybe that would be better. Yes, so there is a bright region over here, and there is a dark region, and again there is a bright region over here, and again dark region, and again bright region. this phenomena keeps on continuing, guys. So alternate bright and dark fringes are obviously seen on the screen even in case of a single slit experiment. Now this is the point where you see your first minima. This is your first minima. This is your first minima, and for that the formula that you are going to use is sine theta is equal to n lambda by a. Now in the first case the angle given is 30 degrees. So 30 degrees is the angle. So sine of 30 degrees, and because it is the first minima, put n as 1. Wavelength, I just don't need the value. I'll just find the value of lambda by a. So half is equal to lambda by a. This is the first equation I got. This is the first equation I got. Okay, now for the second part, for the first secondary maxima, this is your primary maxima, this is your secondary maxima. This is basically your first secondary maxima. This is your first secondary. This is your first secondary maxima that you are going to get on the screen. Understand that. For that, the formula is slightly different. It is sine theta. Instead of n, you have basically 2n plus 1. 2n plus 1 lambda by a, but this whole thing is divided by 2. That is the adjusted formula for a maxima. So the value of n that you are going to put is nothing but first maxima. So plus 1, the whole thing divided by 2 into lambda by a. Now 2 ones are 2, plus 1 is 3. So this will be 3 by 2. Lambda by a is nothing but half. So just use this half from here, guys. So this is just going to be 3 by 4. This is going to be 3 by 4. So theta will be sine inverse of 3 by 4. So that's how you're going to leave it. Is that there? Yes, option D is there. There you go. So you should know these formulas for diffraction. For minima as well as maxima, both the formulas are there right over here. If this is a slit, if it is an aperture, then there is into 1.22. Into 1.22 is used for an aperture. Is that okay? Everyone? Awesomeness, awesomeness, awesomeness. Let's move on to the next question coming up on your screen, and here it is. Okay, a question on work, power, energy and Newton's laws. Very high weightage chapters: work, energy, Newton's laws, free body diagram. When there is this mass kept on a platform and the platform is made to go up, question is, what is the work done by the normal force in the time interval t? All right, got it, Muthukumar. Very good, very good. Kianan, just rewind the part which you did not understand. I'm pretty sure you will get it. Okay, great, great. So just rewind it. Everything is available. Okay, it's not going to get vanished. Umesh, even with 25 high weighted chapters from all the subjects, you can easily score 120 plus. Now let's draw the free body diagram. Over here, first thing is normal force. Next thing is the weight, which is mg. Now clearly looking at the acceleration and the forces, nothing else is there. So normal force minus mg is equal to m into a. Therefore, the normal force is basically m into g plus a. That is the value of the normal force. Why do I need it? Because I need to find out work. Work is force into displacement. Force into the displacement. Force is the normal force. Displacement is s. Oh, the value of displacement also I do not know. How do I find that? Using s is equal to ut plus half at square. Initial speed 0, acceleration a, time is t. So therefore displacement is just half a t square. So that's what I'm going to substitute now. The normal force, I'm just going to put it as m into g plus a, and the displacement value, I'm just going to put it as half into a t square. So eventually the value of the work that I'm going to get is m into g plus a into t square, the whole thing divided by 2. Is that option there somewhere? Is that option there somewhere? Yes, option B. Perfect. Everyone with me on this? Clearo? Understoodo? Perfect. Great, 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 great. Excellente, excellente. Yes, on fire. Whatever doubt you have, you can ask. Definitely. Definitely you can ask. If it is relevant to the topic, I'll definitely answer, or maybe somebody else will also be interested to answer. Okay, great. Moving on to the next one coming up on your screen. Guys, you are focusing on the wrong things. I'm reading your chats. You guys are not focused. If you are going to think, am I going to clear? Is 180 enough? Is 120 enough? are these topics enough? 100% you are going to be very scared in the exam. You might forget whatever you have learned also, and you will just waste the time whatever you have in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Instead, just think about problems. Instead, just look at what you don't know and see if you can brush it up in the last few days. Do not worry about whether you will get NIT, whether you will get IIT. That is a game which has to be played afterwards. There is no point discussing that now because your marks are not with you. After some days, yes, it makes perfect sense that we can discuss your marks and all those things. Right now, please focus on the chapters which are not done properly or which you think you need to brush up. Learn the models of the questions so that you can do in the exam. As I think a relative motion question, a bus is going with a speed of 10 on a straight road. A scooter is wishing to overtake the bus in 100 seconds. The bus is 1 kilometer in front of him. So just think how much should be the speed of the scooter person to basically chase the bus. I think we should draw a diagram. Without that, it might be difficult. So this is the scooter person. He has some unknown velocity. This is the bus over here. The bus is going with certain velocity of how much? 10 meters per second. And the complete distance between them is 1 kilometer. I think it is mentioned over here. So that is basically 1000 meters. So if he has to reach this point, or basically he has to overtake the bus within 100 seconds, here is what I will perceive this problem like. Just think as if the bus is at rest. Just think as if the bus is at rest and the cycle person or the scooter person, he is going to have a relative velocity of how much? If the bus is at rest, that means from the bus's perspective, the cycle fellow is going to appear to come with a speed of how much? V minus 10. Exactly. V minus 10 meters per second, and this distance is basically 1000 meters. And he has to take how much time? The time taken should be, it's clearly mentioned over here, is basically 100 seconds. 100 seconds. And we all know time and distance, if you divide them, you get relative speed. That's all. So relative speed is V minus 10, relative distance is 1000, time is 100, 0, 0, 0, 0 cancels. So 10 is equal to V minus 10, V is equal to 10 plus 10. So V is equal to 20 meters per second. That's the answer. That's the answer. Okay, so check this out. If it is correct, yes, it is correct. Now, whenever you guys get confused whether it is minus or plus, here is the trick, guys. So remember, when two things are going in the same direction, like this or even like this, let's say this is 30, let's say this is I don't know, maybe 20, let's say this is 40, let's say this is 30. Whenever it's in the same direction, then what are you going to do? Whenever it is in the same direction, then what are you going to do? Minus sign. What are you going to do? Subtract them. Just simple thing. Whenever they are in the same direction. So here, what is the relative speed? It will be 30 minus 20, which is basically 10. Here, the relative speed will be 40 minus 30, which again coincidentally is just 10. But when the moment they are in opposite directions like this, when they are in opposite directions like this, let's say this is 50, this is 20, or this is going here and this is going here. So the moment it is opposite, then it is plus. It's like opposite, guys. For same it is minus, for opposite it is plus. So when it is opposite, it is plus. When it is same, it is minus. Okay, keep this in mind. So if this was 20 and this was, let's say, 10, then the relative speed here will be 20 plus 10, which is 30, and over here this relative speed will be 50 plus 20, which is 70. Simple trick. Simple trick. Ganta Sai Punyavati, I think I just motivated you guys that please study right now. That's all you need to do. And I'll be, conducting some motivation session before the exam. For now, just focus on studies. Is that clear? Why it is V minus 10? Okay, I hope this is clear. And why not 10 minus V? Because I know this guy's speed should be more, na? Obviously, if this guy has to overtake, the scooterist has to overtake, obviously this will be more than bus's speed. So that's why V minus 20, not 10 minus V. Is that clear? Very good. Very nice. I hope this is clear. Moving on. Okay, so guys, I'm choosing to ignore all your questions which are not relevant to the session, okay, because I have just told you that focus on the session and I will be only answering those things which are relevant to the session. Moving on. A wheel is rolling on a plane road, linear velocity of center of mass is v, then the velocity of points A and B on the circumference of the wheel relative to the road will be how much? Standard question on rolling when there is a wheel moving on it. So we all know whenever you have a wheel which is purely rolling, this point comes to rest and the entire body moves with a constant angular velocity around it. So hence, if you want to find the velocity of any point, let's say a point here, just draw a line and just draw perpendicular. And this velocity will be omega times the distance that we have drawn over here. Omega times this particular distance. So, my dear students, over here, if you take this point, obviously it will be at rest. This point will have a velocity of omega into this distance. This distance, how much it is? This distance, how much it is? It is 2r. So omega into 2r. So basically 2 times omega r. Omega r is v, so it is 2v. Omega r, that's your standard formula for rolling motion. V should be omega r. So hence it is 2 times of v. So 0, v and 2v. That's how it works. And where is it? Option D, of course. Point A is at rest. Point B is at twice the velocity. Twice the velocity. Everyone with me? Awesome. Important subtopics in communication would be, I would say, the 3 types of waves. The ground wave, sky wave, space wave, and the formula for the range. That is the most important thing. And the last important thing is amplitude, or rather amplitude modulation. That's all. Okay, AM. If you just study AM and what is modulation index, more than enough. Those are the main 2 topics of communication systems. 2 points of a rod move with velocities 3v and v perpendicular to the rod and in the same direction, separated by distance r. Then what is the angular velocity of the rod? Question on circular motion, I think. So let's try to understand this. First of all, this is a rod. This point has a velocity of 3v. Other point is also v, perpendicular to the rod, but in the same direction. That means this point is also having velocity in the same direction. This distance is r. Whenever you want to find relative angular velocity of some point with respect to some other point, bring one point at rest and then do the mathematics. So if I bring, let's say, this point at rest, come on my dear students, think what is the relative velocity over here? What is the relative velocity? 3v plus v or 3v minus v or v minus 3v. I just told you whether to add or subtract. Let's see if you guys were attentive. Satvik has put up the answer correctly. Very good. Should it be 3v minus v or 3v plus v? Obviously minus, because same means minus. I just told you that. So hence it will be 3v minus v, which is going to be 2v. That is your relative velocity. And whenever you talk about angular velocity, it is that relative velocity which is perpendicular upon the distance of separation. Here that perpendicular velocity is 2v, separation distance is r, hence the answer should be 2v by r, which is option D, of course. Yep. Else you would have written maybe 4v by r, which would be making the answer definitely wrong. Okay? Mohammed, if you have not prepared anything, then I would say just give this like a mock test and prepare for the second JEE Mains exam. Okay? So I'm not going to give false hopes. I'm not that kind of a teacher who will just motivate for the sake of motivating and say that, hey, you are not studying anything, it's okay. You can do everything in the next 3 days. So the hard truth is, we'll have to work for the second attempt. Moving on to the next one. The current versus the voltage graph for the given metallic wire at 2 different temperatures is shown. Then what can you conclude? Current versus voltage, 2 different temperatures for a metallic wire. That means it's a conductor. Think how you can solve this. Sheikh, I'm also teaching on the NIT English channel. You can attend my classes over there. Okay. So we have 2 separate channels, NIT English, JEE English. I'm teaching on both the channels. I feel that if you look at this graph, the slope of the graph will be current by voltage. V is equal to IR, V is equal to IR, II cancels, so it will be 1 by R. That means the slope is inversely proportional to the resistance, but resistance is directly proportional to the temperature. As temperature increases, resistance also increases. Therefore, the slope must be also inversely proportional to the temperature. Now think properly. The one which has more temperature will have a lesser slope, and the one which has more slope will have lesser temperature. So who has more slope? Slope of 1 more than slope of 2. 1 has more slope than 2. Hence 1 will have less temperature than that of 2. That's all. That's all. So T1 will be less than T2. Slope is inversely proportional to the temperature. So the one which has more slope will have less temperature. So T1 will be less, T2 will be more. It's exactly opposite. Is that okay? Everyone with me? Awesome. So hey guys, I have a doubt. If I want to see your formula revision and do PYQs, is that enough to get 30 plus marks in JEE? I think 30 plus, maybe. Yeah. Maybe not 30, maybe 25. But you have to put in a little bit more effort, bacha. Okay. So what is the ratio of the circumference of the first orbit of Bohr for the electron in a hydrogen atom to the de Broglie wavelength of the electron? Modern physics question. Atomic structure, de Broglie wavelength, wave particle duality. 100% you will get a question. Then if they have the same velocity as that of the electron in the first orbit of the hydrogen atom. Let's try to understand this question first. See, what is the ratio of the circumference of the first orbit of the electron in the hydrogen atom? So imagine this is hydrogen atom, this is the nucleus, this is an electron which is going around it. So this is an electron. So I'm talking about the circumference. The circumference will be nothing but 2 pi r. The circumference will be nothing but 2 pi r. Now, what has that ratio been taken to? To the de Broglie wavelength of an electron having the same velocity. Just imagine another electron over here moving with the same velocity as this guy. If this is moving with v, even this guy is moving with v. So obviously this will have some de Broglie wavelength. This will have some de Broglie wavelength lambda. So circumference divided by wavelength. That is what the question is demanding. That is what the question is demanding. Everybody understood what has been asked? Great. Now what I will do, I will think of some postulate of Bohr. I think I know which one to do. Angular momentum is nh by 2 pi. Angular momentum is nh by 2 pi. Everybody with me? Angular momentum is also mv into r is equal to nh by 2 pi. Great. Shift 2 pi r there, shift mv below. So this will become 2 pi r is equal to n into h by mass into velocity. What is 2 pi r? What is 2 pi r? Obviously it is circumference, right? 2 pi times the radius is nothing but the circumference is equal to n times. What is h by mv? It is h by p. What is h by p, my dear students? It is nothing but the wavelength. Wavelength, de Broglie wavelength is h by p. So my dear students, from here c by lambda is equal to n. C by lambda is equal to n. Great. I think I got to know what I should do now. I don't even need all of this. Circumference by wavelength is just n. That's all. That's all. And what is n? For the first orbit, I think it is mentioned. For the first orbit, so n is equal to 1. So just put 1. That's the answer. Answer is 1:1. Answer is 1:1. There you go, option A. A for apple. M. Lakshmi Lavanya, right now do not do chapter wise revision. That is a wrong strategy. You should do complete syllabus mock test only, or half syllabus, something like that. But if you're doing part by part test series, it is of no use doing it right now just 5, 6, 7, 8 days before. No, definitely not. How many years of PYQs you should do? Minimum 5 to 6 minimum, because in the last few years there were many papers. That's why I'm saying minimum 5 to 6. Ideally, you should do 10, ideally, okay? But there is no limit to it. If you want to improve your scores even better, then you should choose older papers, 1990s, 1980s, 70s papers also, to improve your scores to bring to 100 percentile. So if you want at least 99 percentile, then 10 years. If you want above 90 percentile, then at least 5 years. So that's how it works. Okay, cool. Let's look at this. Electric field in a region is given by this many volts per meter. What is the voltage difference between the 2 points? Coordinates are given. Interesting question. Interesting question. Let's have a look at it. So in order to find the voltage difference, there is a formula. Potential difference is negative the field times the displacement, or field is negative voltage difference by dx, field is negative dV by dx. You might have seen this formula. So dV is negative field times of displacement. That is the basic formula that I'm going to use. Everybody clear? What is this formula that I'm using? Okay, so if I talk about potential difference in the x direction, it will be field in the x direction into displacement in the x direction. What is the field in the x direction? It is 5. Okay, into what is the displacement in the x direction? Just look at this coordinate and just look at this coordinate. Final minus initial. So this will be 10 minus 4. So this will be minus 5 into 6, which is minus 30. So this is minus 30. Everybody with me? Cool? Okay. Now the next point, my dear students, is for the potential difference in the y-axis. It will be negative field in the y-axis multiplied by the displacement in the y-axis. What is the field in the y-axis? It's negative 3. You can clearly see it is negative 3 multiplied by y coordinates displacement. So this is 0 initially, finally it is 3. So this would be 3 minus 0. You can do the math. 3 3s are 9, minus minus becomes plus. So it will be plus 9. So combining both of them, combining this and this together, the total voltage difference will be negative 30 plus 9. Hence it's going to be negative 21, which is option B. Of course. In x-axis I got this much, in y-axis I got this much. So together the total voltage difference that I got is 21. Do not do 30 square plus 9 square. I know many students would have thought, sir, why did you not do 30 square plus 9 square? Why did you not do that? That is wrong. That is completely wrong answer if you do 30 square plus 9 square's root. Why is it wrong? Let's see how many of you can guess it. If you are going to guess it, guarantee you are going to get 99 percentile. Chalo, 98 percentile at least. Why? Why is it not root 30 square plus 9 square? Let's see how many of you can actually tell this. Yes, CJN, tomorrow there is going to be a formula session, and day after tomorrow, most expected questions for the JEE mains. That's just on the evening before your actual exam. Exactly. Yeah, Aditya, formula revision tomorrow, like I said. It's not a vector. Perfecto. It's not a vector. How can you do that? Exactly. It's a scalar quantity. So whenever you have scalars, you just add them. If it was electric field, then you would have done it. If it was gravitational field, you would have done it. If it was force, you would have done it. Momentum, you would have done it. Kinetic energy, work, potential, scalar. So you cannot do that. Okay, great. Moving on to the next question. Two long wires P and Q held perpendicular to the plane of the paper at a separation of 5 meters. Their currents are given in the same direction. What is the field at a point midway between P and Q? Interesting question. Let's try to understand this. So imagine this is your paper, and you have two wires. One wire going like this, carrying a current of 2.5 amperes. And then there is another wire like this carrying 5 amperes this way. Okay. The separation between them is clearly mentioned. The separation between these two wires is basically 5 meters. Question is exactly at a point midway. Now if you take a point which is midway, okay, so because of this wire, the field will be like this. The field will be like this. So at this point, the magnetic field will be in this direction. The magnetic field due to this wire will be in this direction. Because of the other wire, which is carrying current like this, again, it is going to create a magnetic field like this. Use your right hand rule. So because of that, you will see that the magnetic field will be in this direction. Don't you say they are opposite to each other? Don't you see they are opposite to each other? Hence the net magnetic field, the net field will be nothing but the difference of B1 minus B2, whichever is bigger. One magnetic field will be there, one will be here. Okay, what is each of the magnetic field? It will be mu naught I by 2 pi. Best part, their distances are same. This is also R, this is also R. It's clearly mentioned this point is the midpoint. This point is the midpoint. It is clearly mentioned midway. So their R is the same. So that's one good thing. So 2 pi R minus mu naught I2 by 2 pi R. Now mu naught by 2 pi into 1 by R is common. What is left is I1 minus I2. Substitute everything. So this is mu naught by 2 pi. Correct? Okay. And what do we have over here? 1 by R. R is nothing but the distance between this point and any of the wire, which is half of 5. So that means it will be 2.5 meters. I1 minus I2, that means it will be 5 amperes minus 2.5 amperes. 5 minus 2.5 is 2.5. 2.5 and 2.5 cancel. So I'm just going to get mu naught by 2 pi. Just check this out. Am I not just left with mu naught divided by 2 pi? Where is that option there? It is there, right? Option C, Captain Shreyas. Very go. Awesome. Cool. Very good, Lakshmi. Very good. Very good, Krishna. Very good, Chintubai, Upendra, Nitin. Excellente. Hyper was confused between C and D, but finally, yes, the answer is C. Next question on your screen. Now, gear up. Come on, my warriors. Don't lose the energy. Don't lose that Josh. You have to give these questions. You have to make an effort to understand these questions. And if you have not studied these topics, after the class, you can study through my playlist. One-shot sessions are also there. If you are wondering where to see these one-shots, it's right over here. So as you go through the playlist, right, it's right over here. Just go down over here. You can see JEE one-shot physics. Just click on this full playlist. Whoa, there you go. All the chapters out here, beautifully arranged. What else you need? Yeah, come on. One-shots are there for your revision. Perfecto. Moving on to the next question, guys. Coming up on your screen. I hope you guys have smashed the like button. If you have not yet smashed the like button, what are you guys doing here? We are putting in so much of energy and you're not even going to show that much love and support. How disappointed I will be. Okay, so go ahead, smash that like button. A plane wave is incident on a plane surface of area A normally, and it is perfectly reflected. If the energy E strikes the surface in time t and the average pressure exerted on the surface is, okay, this is a question on radiation pressure. Again, photons, photoelectric effect, that chapter, modern physics, it's based on that. So radiation pressure is nothing but I by C, or intensity by speed of light, or it is 2 times of intensity by C. If you are wondering why 2 or why 1, let me remind you that if the surface is perfectly absorbing, then you use this formula. If it reflects, then you use 2 times. So this is for reflecting surface. In this situation, I think it is clearly mentioned that the surface is reflecting. Perfect. So what I will do is use this formula, 2 times intensity by C. But wait a minute, what is actually intensity? What is intensity actually? It is nothing but the energy which is going to flow per unit time, per unit area. So hence, why not just use that? So it will be 2 by C, and the value of the intensity, I can just put energy divided by time divided by area. So 2E by CTA. 2E by CTA. Where is it? I think it is there as option C again. Perfecto. This is exactly this option. 2 by C and into E by TA, or 2E by TAC, ATC, whatever you want to call it. Perfect. So this formula is again very, very crucial. Sometimes they might also ask you force. This was pressure, right? So they will ask you force. So what you will do? Force is pressure multiplied by area. Force is pressure multiplied by area. So the area term will cut out. So that's how you can solve it. Moving on to the next question. There is a tall object in front of a concave mirror. Focal length is given. What is the size and the nature of the image? Very common question. As stupid as this may sound, believe me, in the past few years, there has been some way or the other, even one question was there, find the focal length, lens maker formula. Or there was one question in JEE Mains just 2 years back or 1 year back, is the focal length of a concave mirror or convex lens positive or negative? Such kind of questions have come. So I don't feel that you should leave those things. Ray optics questions generally in mains are not very complicated. Very few instances are there where it is complex, but other than that, it is not going to be complex. So let's try to do this. Start with a diagram. You need to have a concave mirror, okay, and the center of curvature is here, focal point will be here, and then you also have the object over here, something like this. Okay, so here I will just use 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F formula. V I do not know. Object distance is 15 centimeters, but it is on the left side. This is negative side, this is positive side, correct? So this will be minus 15 is equal to 1 by F. Focal length is 10, but again negative. So shift the terms, shift this guy there. So it will be 1 by 15 positive minus 1 by 10. So take the LCM, which is 30. 15 goes with 30 2 times, 10 goes with 30 3 times. So it will be minus 1 by 30. So V will be, because this is 1 by V, so V will be negative 30 centimeters. So this is just the image distance, but that's not what has been asked. Question is, what is the size of the image? Okay, we all know image height by object height is nothing but the magnification, which is minus V by U. Okay, which is minus V by U. So image height I do not know. Object height is 2. So I'm just going to put 2 minus V. V is minus 30. So minus 30. U is minus 15. So minus minus cancels. 30 by 15 is 2. So it will become minus 2. So that is HI by 2. So therefore image height will be minus 4 centimeters. So that's the image height. That is minus 4. That means it is inverted. It is inverted. That's it. And because this is negative, my dear students, this minus sign clearly tells that it is on the real side. This is the real side. This is the virtual side. This side is virtual for an image because it's behind, and this is basically your real side for the image for a mirror. So hence it is real, inverted, and 4 centimeters. So such an option is there as option number A. Inverted was not asked, but I've just told you in case that was also given. It is not asked, I'm just telling you as an extra point. Okay. Wow, these kind of questions very common. Every shift, almost 70 to 80%, they have asked these questions, guys. Based on circular motion of a charged particle and de Broglie wavelength or kinetic energy or momentum. So many times you just browse through few papers, you will be like, this question is going to come. Sure shot type of question. If a proton and alpha particle have the same de Broglie wavelength, then the ratio of the radii when moving perpendicular to the magnetic field is. Interesting question. Let's try to understand this. First of all, when you have a magnetic field, then any charged particle which is thrown inside it goes in a circular path like this. If this is the speed, and if I tell you this is the radius, okay, and let's say this is the mass and the charge, then the radius is given by mv divided by qb. This is the formula of the radius. But I don't know mass, I don't know speed. I just know that their de Broglie wavelengths are same. Interesting. So here is what I look at. The question is ratio of the radius, right? So radius is mass into velocity is momentum divided by qb. And momentum of any charged particle, momentum according to de Broglie's theory, okay, for any particle or any mass basically is nothing but h by lambda. So this divided by qb. Interesting. Now if you notice, my dear students, h is same, it's a constant. B is same, it's the same magnetic field. They have the same de Broglie wavelength. So lambda is also same. So from this, what are you getting? Radius is inversely proportional to charge. Radius is inversely proportional to charge for this problem. So hence R1 by R2 will be Q2 by Q1. So radius of proton upon radius of alpha particle will be, for proton the charge is plus E, for alpha particle it is plus 2E, 2 protons, 2 neutrons, so 2E. So hence it will be nothing but 2:1. That is the answer. Where is it? Option D, guys. Where is it? Yes, option D. I'm taking the ALI batches. Yep, definitely, Siva. And even if I'm not in the same batch, I trust me, all awesome teachers are there. So you don't really have to worry that, oh, sir is not there, what should I do? Don't worry. All the teachers are amazing, okay? Not all teachers can come on YouTube and teach, or, time constraint is there, or if I'm on YouTube, I cannot, make a commitment that okay, I'll be taking 5 batches or 4 batches, so it becomes difficult. So understand, all teachers are amazing, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so you're going to get the entire PDF where? On the Telegram channel. Where is the link for the Telegram channel? It's there in the description box. I'll just show it to you, and make sure that you are smashing the like and subscribe button meanwhile. So as you go down below, and come on guys, smash up this like button, let it go up. Everybody should discover this channel. It's only #1 English channel in the country, let me tell you that. So you can see the Telegram channel, it's right over here. Click on this link, you will be able to join. I'll be posting the PDF, needless to say. Also, like I've shown you over here, this is a beautiful playlist of one shot, all the physics chapters. Next important thing, if you want more mock tests and more problems to solve, just go to this particular section. Where is it? Okay, it's problem solving. Yes, JEE problem solving. You have mock tests, revision, problem solving, fast track series. All these playlists have been put up right on the top for your advantage. All right, I hope this is very, very clear for all of you. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed. Let's do one more session on Monday, tomorrow a formula session, and on Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll be discussing the papers, of course. Okay, so all the best guys. Do not get depressed. Whatever update comes and whatever things you need to do before the exam, everything I'll be conducting separate short videos so that it does not waste too much of your time also. Okay, bye bye. Stay well, stay fit, stay healthy, stay motivated, stay strong. We are going to crack it, guys. This is the time that we guys were waiting for, and we have to do it really well. We are not going to mess this up, okay? So come on, guys. It's your time. The ball is in your court. We will put in our 100%. You to put in your 100%. Okay, bye bye. Hasta la vista. Take care. Captain Shreyas signing off.